Hey, brother.
Hey, Al.
And welcome everyone back to another episode of Siblings in Crime. I'm Allie Rossell.
And I'm Blake Murphy.
And just as it sounds, we are siblings who love true crime.
Yes, love it.
Kind of mixed up how I said it. Didn't sound as cool.
I think it sounded better.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for being here. Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting. As always, the more, the merrier. Blake, give it to us. There you go. More, please. We did see that we got a case suggestion, which is so nice on YouTube. So we got Hannah all over it. So thank you for the suggestion. We love suggestions. It's actually very helpful for me. So keep them coming on all platforms. We're Siblings in Crime. I think on all platforms.
I think so.
And then
too.
siblingsincrime.com. Yeah, Siblings in Crime Pod, potentially. And then siblingsincrime.com, it also has a little spot where you can go and send us a little message. So you can contact us. Send us
a message.
We would love a message.
Yeah.
So please do that. And eventually when we have merch, it will be there as well. So one of these days that will happen and it'll be so awesome and so fun.
Yes.
Well, Blake, anything before we get into this week's case?
It's almost football season. This week marks the first week of football season, and there will never be another week without football until like February. And the Cardinals are playing in the Hall of Fame game. So that's
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, Thursday. Tomorrow.
That's sweet. Tomorrow. And I've been trying to plan a race, and Blake's like, okay, let's go through the football schedule and figure out a Saturday that makes sense. So
we're going to January, right?
Right. So we're running in January, actually. So keep your eyes peeled for that. We'll be racing against cancer. But yes, big football season. And today's my anniversary, August 5th. Yippee! 3 years, baby. So
3 years and counting.
And counting for eternity. Stuck with me. So let me get into this week's case because it is all over the place. This story takes place in Boynton Beach, Florida. It's like 15 minutes south or so from West Palm, I believe. There's a townhouse there, beige, 2 stories, one of maybe like 100 that all look exactly the same. And it's kind of like the classic place, nothing's really going on. On, believe it or not, Wednesday morning, August 5th of 2009. Dun, dun, dun. Same day as today.
Crazy.
A 20
accident too.
Yeah, coincidentally, I chose this case not knowing we'll be doing it on August 5th. Pretty neat. On this day, a 26-year-old woman walked out of that townhouse and drove to the gym. She had been married 6 months and 3 days at this point. She was gone for about an hour, and when she got back, her whole street was blocked off. Whatever her life was when she drove out of that driveway an hour earlier, the new husband, the 2 dogs, the beginning of their life together, that version of it was already over by the time she made it home. And this is the case of Michael Dippolito. Are you ready?
Ready.
Let's roll.
Let's roll.
So this is just before 6 a.m. on August 5th. Like I said, literally today's date. That is crazy. Had no idea that was going to happen, but I love that it's a coincidence. This is the date that Dalia Dippolito, our girl that we started with, she leaves the house and heads to the gym. Totally morning routine for her. And then her phone rings. It's a sergeant with the Boynton Beach Police Department, and he tells her that there's been an incident at her home and she needs to come home right away. That's it. And that's very common, I feel like. They're like, come home, we can't tell you anything. That would send me into a straight panic if I got a call like that. I'd be calling everyone I know. Like, does anyone know what's going on?
True.
Like, that is like so much more panicky than just telling someone over the phone what's going on.
Yeah. There's this guy I listen to, this therapist guy, and he's talking about how like you should like tell people like, hey, like call me when you can. It's not an emergency. Everything's okay. So you're not just
anxiety's not like
yeah.
Oh, so true. It could be like the most nonchalant thing too, but if you give it like any room for imagination, Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it can be a pretty
Your
dangerous
imagination
spiral.
makes it so much worse.
So true. Because this is like kind of where she's at. She's asking what happened, and he's like, just come home. I'm like, oh my gosh, I would literally be sobbing and have no idea why.
Yep.
So she drives back across town, and she can tell from kind of like the end of the block a little bit what's going on. We have police cars parked at those angles, lights going on, yellow tape strung across the sidewalk, neighbors standing out in their driveways in like bathrobes, everyone's trying to see what's going on. It's early in the morning. And inside the tape, there's a forensic photographer taking photos. And there's a fingerprint powder on the door frame. Never a good sign. She gets out of her car, starts walking down toward the house, and an officer steps in front of her. And he tells her right then finally what was going on. Her husband is dead.
Is your husband Michael? Okay, I'm sorry to tell you, ma'am. He's been killed.
No.
He's been killed, man. I'm sorry.
No, he's not.
Listen.
No.
Try to calm down.
Jeez.
His name was Michael Dippolito. I say that so fast that I never say it right. Michael Dippolito. He was 38 at this time. And they're telling her he was killed inside their home sometime after she, like within the last hour, obviously, since she's been gone. And this like whole interaction is actually posted online. So it's like probably a pretty familiar story with the crime community, because there's just like so much body cam footage, which is kind of not always made public. And so what we can see from that video is she like is told this and she just collapsed. She's like grabbing onto the officer, her whole body's shaking. She keeps saying no, no, no. And the officer's doing what they can to try to like calm her. They're holding her up, apologizing for like having to break this news. So it's kind of like a very emotional scene, and it's interesting because we can see so much of it for like not all cases we can do that. So we have like actual footage. So that's where they're at. 6 months and 3 days into her marriage, and now she's a freaking widow on her own driveway. It makes me sick. And within the hour, she's gonna be like in an interview room, working with the detectives, trying to spill everything that could have happened. But before we get into that room, gotta back up, gotta tell you about this couple, because Michael, I'm sure he's a great guy. He has a little bit of a decorated past that we need to get into.
What kind of decorated past?
Yeah, let me tell you about it. Okay, so I guess he's kind of like the classic gym bro. He's like big time into health, lifting. His life kind of revolves around that, but he also is running like a marketing business out of his house. Which I'm like, how well is that doing? But this guy, he's also a convicted felon. So back in 2002, Michael got arrested for running an investment scam. Classic. People giving him money to invest, and he's just like not investing that money. And obviously that's not a good thing. He actually did plead guilty for that, and he got 2 years in state prison for it. And he only served about 7 months, which wasn't all that big of a deal. The crazy thing is that he ended up owing $191,000 in restitution to the people he scammed. And then on top of that, he had probation. I feel like typically probation is like, oh, you got 1 to 3 years probation. I feel like you don't hear much longer than that. Michael was on probation until the year 2032. Okay, he had a 30-year probation sentence. That's the longest I've ever heard. That is so long.
Yeah, it's probably because it's just like more so they're making sure he's not committing any more fraud rather than anything else.
I know, and yes, but that's also tough because like there's so many things that can break your like probation rules. Like obviously you shouldn't be doing investment fraud,
it's
but
focused on that.
I would
I'm
hope
sure it's
so.
not like drinking or like stuff like that. I'm sure it's more like he, isn't doing anything related to the same business he was running before.
I hope so. I don't have the details on his probation, but I would like to think that because, I mean, on regular probation, like you miss a meeting and you're like going back to jail and not just for 7 months. So I imagine he's feeling like he's probably on a pretty tight leash. Hopefully that it's like not as strict, because 30 years of like being super watched would probably be kind of like a difficult lifestyle. Regardless, this is kind of like his life that's going on at the time of our story takes place in 2009. He knows he's kind of on thin ice, which is what makes the spring and summer of 2009 so bizarre.
How bizarre.
There you go. I was waiting for that. Because in those few months, Michael had run into some bad luck, I guess you could say. In March, he and Dalia are checking out of a hotel, and there are police officers standing next to his truck. They tell him that they got an anonymous tip that he's dealing drugs. And so they search his truck top to bottom, and he's clean. He's like, why would someone like rat me out like that? Has nothing in his car. About 2 weeks later, though, the same thing happened. And when they do a search, they lift the spare tire and actually find a Newport cigarette box that has 2 baggies of cocaine in it. Or pills, depending on your source. And he, of course, he's going to swear up and down, like, this is not mine. I'm getting set up. Whether or not it's his, because he's on probation. I mean, despite that, most people are like, no, not me. You know? And so, of course, he goes into like this kind of interrogation setting. And they're like, okay, you say it's not you. You're getting set up. Who could it be? And he says, his ex-wife. Let's talk about his ex-wife. Her name is Maria. She was with Michael for 9 years. So she met him before all the fraud stuff. She stayed with him through the arrest, through the prison sentence. And they finally got married in 2007. So he got arrested in 2002. So they were like together for a long time before they got married. Fisher got married in 2007. She stayed with him through the tough times. Hardcore wife, you know.
Yeah.
But then in October of 2008, Maria goes out of town for a few days. And evidently, our guy Mike got a little lonely, calls up an escort company. And long story short, she gets home and blindsides her with the, I'm moving out, I want a divorce. There was like no warning. They were not fighting. They were not struggling in their marriage, according to Maria. And just like that, their marriage is over. So he doesn't even tell her that there's somebody else or that he was like cheating on her or anything like that. She actually figures it out because she catches him buying flowers for this other woman. Not wild.
The escort?
The escort. So when she confronts him, the story he gives that he met a woman online, which we know is the escort, and 9 years down the drain for like a woman that he paid for one night, which is crazy. So putting yourself in this detective's chair, like, yeah, that looks kind of bad. But also you're on parole, so we still have to like take you like more seriously. But this man is being harassed, obviously, if this is not him.
Yeah.
So he's getting anonymous tips. He's getting drugs planted in his car. And the guy himself is telling you he thinks this is like this woman that he blindsided, and maybe she's trying to get back at him for just dipping out after 9 years. So it's a kind of a crazy theory, but also it's pretty valid. Like if I was that woman, maybe I would do crazy things. Women do crazy things. You never know. But then it gets weirder because one morning, Mike's heading to the gym and there's a note on his truck. And it doesn't say what you'd expect it to say. Listen up, because this is like weird.
Okay.
It says, bring $40,000, 9:30 a.m. back to this parking space and put it under the car parked behind you. Do not tell anyone. I will tell you all that happened to you, is happening to you, and will happen on Friday. Tell no one, come alone. And it's signed, someone who will help you. Okay.
Weird.
I had to read that like 17 times because I was like, what the heck is this? It's not a threat. It's like a sales pitch, basically. It is a person blackmailing him, basically saying, I know who's doing this. Give me 40 grand and I'll tell you who. That sounds like something a scammer would say. I'm like, who's?
Why 40 grand? That's a weird number too.
I guess that's true. I didn't even think about the number. I was thinking like probably a lot of money. But yeah, 40 grand is a ton of money. This is 2009 too. Like that's a lot of money. So it just feels extra weird. And now Mike feels like he's being watched extra close. He feels like more people are involved, making him super uncomfortable. And in late May, Mike has had enough and he actually takes this note to the police. He's like, something is weird that is going on. And the officer who writes it up says that Mike seemed very or overly paranoid, expressed extreme concern for his welfare and his safety. I guess evidently Mike even said that he wished whoever did this was just break into his car or even just shoot him and get it over with. I was like, wow. That is, you got to be living in a big state of fear if you're hoping for that outcome, just get it over with.
Yeah, that's weird. So sad. It's also like maybe he's just saying that to make it seem dramatic and he's doing it to himself.
That's interesting. Yeah, just because he got in trouble with the drugs. He's like, I can't be going back to jail. Yeah, but then that's when Mike tells the officer something a little different that kind of changes the direction the cops are looking for a minute. He says that back when he was running the investment scam, he was in business with two brothers who had just been indicted on federal racketeering charges. Guys with ties to the Bonanno, Bonanno, crime family. So the cops are familiar with this family. They're like, oh crap, you're working with those guys? That's the mob.
Yeah.
So like, okay, is this normal mob behavior? Like trying to get extra, like the extra 40 grand, giving threats, planting drugs. Like, are these Mike's old associates that are like trying to just like drain him? Like, are they mad at him for getting caught? These are the type of things they're asking now. And it's kind of tough for police because they're like looking into this and they're like, is it a guy covering his tracks? Does he have a crazy ex-wife? Now is it the mob? Like the possibilities seem like they're stacking up. So by the end of July 2009, this man, Mike, he seemed to be scared out of his mind, not only from this harassment, but he is convinced something's eventually going to either get him, like off him, or one of these things that are planted is going to cause him his freedom and the framing's going to work and he's going to get sent back to jail. I'm like, that's a sucky situation to be in.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And just a month later, that's when the forensic photographer is standing in his living room.
Someone got him.
Someone got him. So now we got to talk about the rest of his life. Let's talk about his wife because she is going to be the one with that kind of like these nitty gritty details. She was born Dalia Mohammed in New York City in October of 1982. She had an Egyptian dad, Peruvian mom, 2 siblings. And I guess they moved down to Boynton Beach when she was around 13. So she kind of grew up in this area since like her early teens. She graduated high school there in the year 2000. And by early 20s, she had got her real estate license.
Nice.
Which, yeah, great. Palm Beach County in like early 2000s, it was a gold rush up until it absolutely was not a gold rush. And during that time, that's when Dalia had to make money a second way. And that's when she picked up escorting.
Mm.
And of course, that's how she met Michael, as we mentioned. So Maria's trip, when she was out of town, she was gone. Mike called for an escort. They shipped over Dalia. She was 25, and so he was 12 years older than her at the time. And by all accounts, they like fell for each other immediately. Everyone's like, it was a whirlwind. Like that's how like the families describe it. He literally files for divorce right when his wife gets home. Like I said, it's finalized in January. They were married 5 days later on February 2nd, 2009. That is like the most whirlwind I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah. That's
so wild. Yeah, that's a huge step. They must have been like that has to be a crazy chemistry.
Love at first sight.
Yeah, like that's got to be crazy. I think it probably helps that he ended up buying her a $20,000 engagement ring, which always cracks me up because I'm like, I don't know, that's just so weird to me. I just feel like that's embarrassing if you have like too fat of a ring. Yeah. But then I'm also wondering how he has this money because
Marketing.
I guess. Yeah, marketing said it. So maybe it's clean money. So they both describe this time as like the happiest, whatever. So she
So
moves
he's
in.
not in trouble at this time?
So he's on parole because
No,
when
I mean,
he
he didn't get, it's his app before the drug thing.
yeah, this is so they got married. Let's see,
Is he like
in
living in fear
February.
currently?
Yes, by the
Okay.
so like all these things start happening like the summer ish because that's when he's like starting to like have to pay off like retribution and all these things. So she moves in and they end up in that townhouse, like I mentioned from the top. And he actually paid $225,000 for the townhouse in full, no mortgage. And I'm like, that's great. Like, why are we not paying this retribution back?
Yeah.
And so that's, I think you can have some angry clients at that point. But
Angry
regardless,
clients?
or past clients, like
Victims?
the fake investing.
Mm-hmm.
According to Dahlia, their life had been pretty ordinary since they got married. It's actually hilarious to me because it sounds like they loved reality TV. Like
Really?
that was their thing. It's like 2009. They're like watching Jersey Shore. It's like Cheaters time. Like Kardashians are starting to pick up, and it cracks me up because when I hear her accounts, she's like, we totally would crush this lifestyle. Like they want to be like these reality TV stars, like just super
That's weird.
hot and fun to watch. Like that's like how they saw themselves. Yeah, that's just so funny. I'm like, that is like what you envision for your guys' future. She's like, I don't think she was like as serious, like, we're gonna go do this, but it sounds like that's just something that they genuinely bonded off of. Like normal people getting famous for like just being watchable. That's hilarious to me.
Lots of people bond over it, I guess. It's just like watching any show. It's just
Yeah,
weird
I
that they
guess.
love it so much.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know if I know many men specifically that are like, yeah, we should totally rock the reality TV world.
Yeah.
So it's just
That's
kind of
so
funny.
weird.
I'm glad that they found that because that's very unique. So life was just simple, as you could say. That is until the morning of August 5th, and he is found dead on the floor of his townhouse. So the detectives have lots of questions, right? Because, like, they have victims of the fraud conviction. They have a list of investors he stole from, 6 figures of unpaid restitution, 2 brothers involved with the mob that he used to be associated with, a wife of 9 years that he walked out on. Like, there's no shortage of people that maybe could want some retribution, I guess.
Yeah.
So they ask his widow to come down station, help them work through it, and of course she's like, yeah. So the interview room at Boynton Beach PD is small, as they always are. Camera's rolling again. Dahlia sits down. She's still shaking, and the detectives are like kind of gentle with her. They're asking her exactly what you'd expect. Did Michael have any enemies? Was anybody threatening him? Is there something going on that she's scared to say out loud? Like, does she know about anything dirty going on that like it's time to come clean about?
I think
And
she did a hit on him.
Okay. And just because. Okay. And she answers. So she's just crying, and she tells him about his past, about the people she owed money to. Basically, the things that the cops already have information on. She's like, that's really all there is to know. Like, these are the people I know as well. This is everything I have.
Mm-hmm.
And a minute later, that's when the doors open, and 2 officers walk in with a man in handcuffs. He's a guy in street clothes, mid-30s, and the detectives tell her that this man was actually seen running from her house that morning. And they ask her, like, have you ever seen this man before? And she's like, no. Like, he has no reason to be at my house. And then
He was running from her house or just running by her house?
I think like enough to be suspicious. Like, I don't know if he went through
Weird.
the yard. It doesn't like, it's not like triggering red flags that this guy's on a jog. You know, like it must be like from the house or in the yard. Just like an unfamiliar face in the area.
Did all right, keep going.
Okay. And then
Wait, I was
there's
gonna say, I wonder if he's part of the Bonanno family.
Banano. I know. I don't know how to say that. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. Well,
It's
she doesn't
banana.
I don't think she knows like the brothers, like the Bonanno family. I don't think she knows what they would look like regardless, you know, so she probably wouldn't recognize them. But that's when Michael Dippolito walks into the room. Alive, completely fine,
So
still
she
wearing the
did-
clothes he woke up in, just standing there looking at his wife.
I think so. She did order a hit on him, and they caught it.
Isn't that if she was probably like, oh frick,
Yeah,
oh frick,
they're like,
that
"It's
Go ahead.
up." Oh, they're just saying like, they're like pretending is up. It's time to face it. Like, she's
That-
like, no more crying. You did this.
well, she does not feel that way. She's like, what the heck is going on right now? The man in handcuffs is actually not a suspect. He's not under arrest. His name is Whitey Jean, and he is an undercover officer with the Boynton Beach Police Department. And 2 days before this, he was the same man who sat in a car with Dalia Dippolito while she agreed to pay him $7,000 to shoot her husband in the head.
Dang.
Isn't that
Crazy.
crazy?
And
Oh
she
my
went to
gosh.
the gym like nothing happened.
Yeah, she's so nonchalant. And like during this time, they're going through the interview, and the sergeant Sheridan, who's like our main guy today, he tells her, okay, you're going to jail today for solicitation of murder. You're under arrest. That's an undercover cop. Here's your husband. We filmed everything.
Mhm.
And she's like, I didn't do anything. She says that over and over. I didn't do anything. And then her husband is in the doorway and she's going, husband, come here. Mike, come here.
Come here. Come here, please. Come here.
Can't fix this.
Why not? I didn't do anything
I
to
heard
you. Mike, come here, please.
And the officer's like, he does not want to see you. He does not want to talk to you. Like, stop talking to him. Like, how sad to be Michael. And you're like, dang, I watched all this recording and then I get woken up by police officers telling me to come to the office because my wife wants to have a hit on me.
Yeah,
That is devastating. So obviously there was no murder, there was no body, there's no crime scene. Every single thing on that street, the tape, the fingerprint stuff, like the detectives, the forensic photographers out there, that was all set up while
For
she was
sure.
gone at the gym to like set the scene for her to like be shocked. As well.
That was wild.
That's why they also had cameras rolling the entire time. She is then arrested for the solicitation to commit first degree murder. Let me tell you what actually happened on the days
Alright.
leading up. On July 31st, 2009, so 5 days before all this went down, a guy named Mohammed Shayadeh, something like that. Mohammed.
I'm sure that's not right, but keep trying.
Probably wrong, but Mohammed. He calls the Boynton Beach Police Department with a story that no one believes. He is in his late 20s. He's like a part-time actor guy, and he claimed he'd worked on a show before, like this Burn Notice. And he tells detectives that this woman he knows, like, sounds like they were kind of like friends with benefits type. That she came to him asking to find somebody to kill her husband.
Oh, snap.
In the recorded interview, he says how he had the realization that she's being dead serious. She's not like joking around or like hypotheticals. She's actually looking for a hit. And the detectives are skeptical for like a pretty good reason, because this guy, like, for some reason, he like describes Dahlia, but he gives them the name Delilah instead. And he doesn't have an address for her. And evidently they've been friends for over 10 years. So it's like, how do you get her name wrong and don't know where she lives? But it sounds like they do have quite a past together. Like, they've been friends for a long time. They, like I said, kind of were hooking up a little bit, but he like never claimed Dahlia to be his girlfriend at all. And then I guess he got married. He cut off the relationship. She goes on, gets engaged to an architect, takes his money, moves out. Like, she sounds like she's in it for the money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like where Muhammad is coming from. He's like, she got a $40,000 ring that time and then booked it back to Florida after living in California for like a few months with this other guy. So obviously when this ended, that's when she got married to Michael and she looked up Muhammad again, and that's how they're connected back in Florida. So the police are like, you can't ignore a threat like this, even though they're kind of not believing him a ton.
They're suspicious.
Yeah, they're like, well, we should probably look into that because it could be very bad if we don't. So they actually make Muhammad a confidential informant,
Nice.
and they wire him up. They have a hidden camera in his car, and they tell him to set up a meeting. So he does. He meets up with Dalia at a mobile gas station in Boynton Beach. And on video, he tells her that he found someone, but this guy needs $1,200 to go buy a gun, first of all. So she's counting out cash. She's got $1,200. Yeah, boom, hands over a picture of Mike. It's like, here, give this to him so he knows what his face looks like.
Jeez.
Bad start.
Yeah, for her. Good start for the defense.
True. So then she even says, like, on tape, wipe my bleep prints off of those bleep pictures. No one's going to be pointing a finger at me. Okay, honey. Little do you know, you're like 17 steps behind everybody else at this point.
Yeah. You are stupid.
Yeah. Everyone watching this is just like shocked that she's so nonchalant. She's talking like they're like running errands. Like, here's $20, go to Costco, get me some like muscle milk, whatever. And like, why is she so casual talking about such a serious crime?
She's heartless.
I guess so. And I guess like Muhammad is even like, are you sure you want to like kill this man? Like, it's not even like, is it worth the money? And she tells him it's not even over the money, that it's like he's got friends and other things that like she can't divorce him. Like, he's got friends in powerful places, maybe like the mob. But everyone's kind of like, no, you're in it for the money. So anyways, that happens. Then that Monday, August 3rd, this is when
Especially
the hitman...
getting married to him and only being married for a couple of months.
Yeah.
It's like she was ready to rumble.
Right, exactly. She's been playing this from the start, it feels like. So, like, the so-called hitman calls her himself and sets up a meeting. And they meet in his convertible in the parking lot of CVS. He introduces himself as a professional. And that's when we have Officer Whitey Jean in. I bet this is every cop's, like, dream. Yeah. They're like, oh, this is, like, the craziest sting operation.
I'm going undercover.
Yeah, that's gotta be nuts. I'd be, like, sweating. I'm like, oh, I don't want to mess this up. So, the cameras are rolling.
It's probably not really hard to mess it up with her, though.
That's true. And we'll have some footage of this in our podcast as well. Cameras are rolling. It's like a perfect shot of the passenger seat. We can see her very well and clear. And the video is like over 20 minutes long, like 23 minutes long or something like that. Like, they are chatting it up. They build this whole plan together. He's going to break into the townhouse, make it look like a burglary gone wrong. Her husband, in his words, get 2 shots in the head and she'll be at the gym. And she's like oddly, she's crazy helpful. According to the arrest affidavit, she walks him through the husband's daily schedule, the security system in the house, the like getaway routes that he can take. I guess depending on source, like Mike had just had some sort of back surgery. Some say liposuction on his love handles, but either way, he's down. That's why he's not at the gym with her this specific morning, because usually they go every morning together. So that's already a bad look for her. The one time that he's not able to go to the gym in the morning.
Yeah.
So she agrees to $7,000, $3,000 of it up front, and hands over the key to her own front door. Sickening. So of course the cops are like, okay, we got to make sure that she's like super legit. So at one point he stops and asks her right then, like, are you sure you want to kill this dude? And she laughs and says, I would be very happy. Okay, gross, first of all. So they set it up for Wednesday morning, August 5th. And then this detective gives her one more out. He's like, let me show you the door. He's like, between now and then, you won't have contact with me. Like, there's no way to reach me. Once you get out of this car, it's happening. Are you sure? And she says, there's no changing. I'm determined already. I'm positive, like 5,000% sure.
Don, you know, you have to have an option to change your mind. Even if you change your mind, Talking to him.
There's no changing. No, there's no like. I'm determined already. I'm positive, like 5,000% sure.
By the time you get back from the gym, you're gonna find two things: a dead body in the house.
Is what she says.
Jeez. That's weird.
5,000%. That quote literally haunts her for the rest of her life. Like, that is like the quote that comes up over and over. Like, oh yeah, 5,000%. Like, what a freaking jerk.
Yeah. Evil.
Yeah. The officer's like, I was shocked. Like, she was like, yes. So, like I
No
said,
remorse.
yeah, exactly. So as for motives, prosecutors eventually boil it down to three things. When Mike was like freaked out that he was getting targeted, he actually signed the house over in Dalia's name, the townhouse, so that he can protect his assets. So she has full, like, his signature is not even on the townhouse anymore. So she has the townhouse, she has the money, and they think that there's another man involved.
Yeah, she probably just like tricking him so that he signs all this stuff over, tries to pay her and stuff. And
That's what they're thinking.
Yeah.
They're like, seems weird all this stuff is happening, and then you put a hit out on your husband. Are you scaring him out of his money, basically? So, speaking of all that terrible luck, evidently, in the summer, prosecutors obviously say that this was all Dalia. They said the cocaine under the spare tire was planted, and it was planned, and it was herself. She's the one
Crazy.
making the calls. She's like literally with him every time. Like, oh, we're over at this hotel. Oh, we're shopping in this shopping strip, you know? But like anonymous. Ridiculous. She scared Michael out of his townhouse, signing it over to protect himself, which she just like financed her way, finazzled her way into all his
Finessed?
finances. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't think of the word. And she said that she was just trying to help, you know?
Yeah.
Well, there also was another guy in Dalia's life in 2009. His name is Michael Stanley, both named Michael, not to get it confused. Sounds like he was kind of like on the side her entire marriage. He's always been around. Prosecutors actually have to read their text messages out loud in court.
Yeah.
Disgusting. I
That's
feel
what happens when you
so
marry an escort, I guess.
true. But also, how sad for the detective that has to read out loud explicit, nasty, gross text messages to everyone. I'd be like, oh, this is so embarrassing. But not only were they explicit, they were like plotting. Like in this, they would talk about how they were like almost giddy, talking about celebrating when the husband signed over the townhouse in her name only. And in one of the text messages, it says that they had the plan for him to impersonate being a lawyer to convince Michael that his probation was over. That way, like, he thinks he's off probation. He stops showing up for his probation officer. He stops doing all the right things. And hopefully that will get him to go back to prison. So they're like plotting, like trying to get him in trouble left and right. Evidently, it's not working. And so they go for the more permanent solution of hiring a hit.
Jeez.
It is
Savages no matter what.
freaky. Yeah, it is
Heartless.
so freaky. I hate that. And then obviously we know that a huge chunk of this probably is the money. Like I said, he owed $191,000 to like restitution. Well, his goal was to pay it all in one lump sum. Because once he gets that paid, he was able to actually be eligible for an early release of parole if he's able to like get all this paid off.
Oh, okay.
According to some accounts. So his goal, obviously, get out of probation, pay off this sum, and Dalia offered to cover half of it. I don't know if she's planning on doing with real estate or what, but just 2 weeks into their marriage, he starts writing her checks out of his business account. Like it'd be like $6,000, $7,000, whatever. He's giving her checks because her responsibility was to take these checks. She's supposed to take some of her money, and she's supposed to be wiring it to the lawyer so that he's paying off. Like once they have all the money, pay off the lump sum, he would probably get off probation. Well, of course, she's not giving that money to nobody. She's keeping all these checks he's paying, And of course, the debt was never paid. So she's
Jeez.
gotten over $100,000 in checks. Nevertheless, the house and all these other things. So she was just robbing him blind at this point, which is so sad. Only 6 months of a marriage.
Yeah. And just doing that the whole time sounds like.
Right. And the creepy thing is that, like, when undercover detective Whitey Jean was introduced, this wasn't even her first time trying to get a hitman.
Jeez.
Evidently, she was talking to Mohammed or whatever. They were out shopping and asked him to kill Michael. And I guess he says he was upset. Like, he was like, no, I'm not killing him. Like, vocal. And that's when two literal strangers in the store who have been like trying to hit up Dalia the whole time overheard the whole thing. And these guys were like, oh, we'll do it. Okay, two strangers. That is really weird. Evidently, according to Muhammad, they drove, like, the two men and Dalia drove to her house to go look at the house. But then they came back like, there's too many cameras. Like, we're out. We're actually not going to do this. So it could have been done by other people as well. And that's when Muhammad's like, she is being so serious. I'm going to the cops.
Yeah, good for him.
I know. Very good for him. But how creepy that she was that 5,000% sure, evidently.
Yeah, true.
The last thing about this, too, is that when she came to the house at the fake crime scene, like, she handed over her purse and her different belongings. In her purse, it was like stuffed with her like nice jewelry and things like that. And it's like so funny because they obviously knew what was going on. But like, oh, you brought all your jewelry to the gym. Like, she knew it was supposed to be a fake robbery and that she probably was not going to be able to get back in the house if it was a murder investigation.
Yeah.
So she was obviously, yeah, she's like, I'm going to bring my nice things, and like literally rolls up to the house with all of it in her
What does
bag.
she look like?
Yeah, go look her up.
Like. She sounds so stupid.
It is unbelievable.
What's her name again?
Dalia, Dalia. Dippolito, DOPP.
Wow, that was the first thing that popped up.
Everything. Yeah. So
she kind of looks like forget her name. Another person that
Well, if you think of her, let me know. But this was actually like weird timing too, because the TV show Cops were in town. And so like all the cameras going, they were actually there filming as well. Like, they were there waking up Michael, like getting him on camera. They were there at the crime scene. That's why we have so much footage of this. And they posted this like on YouTube right away. I think before Dalia even like, because like she went straight to interrogation room. I think by the end of the day, this is all up on at least YouTube. It's like went viral basically immediately. It's like, it's on Cops. It's on 2020. Like, before she could even like do anything, clear her name, this video is going like crazy, which kind of is the point of a contention in court later. They're like, you should not have had this TV show Cops at an actual scene. But I was like, that's pretty gnarly. At least they got a lot of footage.
Yeah,
whatever.
True.
So for the court stuff, I know that this is not your thing, but this is like super genuinely stupid. The court things. There are 3 trials for this.
Jeez. Does she keep getting like hung jury type of thing or something?
Some of them. So this goes over 8 years. And I'm like, how does that happen when they have like a 23-minute long video of her planning this hit? Okay, so for trial 1 that happens in spring of 2011.
Maybe they thought it was like it's not encasement, it's in.
Well, what is?
I forget the word. I'll look it up.
What are you trying to say?
Basically, that like the cops like trick you into doing something bad.
Yeah, like coerced, kind of.
Yeah.
So
there's a certain word for it.
Well, yeah. Report back. This defense has one problem, and it is the tape. They don't argue about what's on it. They, like you said, kind of argue about why it exists. The defense, this is their claim. It is so crazy to me. Get this. The defense claims they're entrapment.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's interesting because I feel like that's like a better defense argument. Being like, she, like, this is like a trap, basically. No. The defense's argument is, oh, this is just a movie. Like, this is her plot. Can you believe that?
I don't even get what that means. Like she was pretending it was a movie that she was filming or something.
Yes.
But there's no film. She was practicing the film.
She's like, this is it. This is for our movie. She says that like they were obsessed with a reality TV show and they like cooked up this whole stunt that like Michael was even in on it and that they wanted to get famous. So like it was like Michael's hoax to achieve fame and fortune. It was just like a bad prank.
Michael's like, what the?
Exactly. And he
He's
takes
like,
the stand.
no.
Yeah, he's like, oh, honey, like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I was not part of this movie. What a crazy claim. Saying it's a bad prank. She's
movie.
like, yeah, great Hannah Montana reference.
I forgot what it was.
If we were a movie.
If we were a movie.
She's like, yeah, I knew the camera was in the back looking at me the whole time. I was just playing my part. These are my roles. So wild.
Top's right on it, too.
Yeah, evidently.
They're like, it's entrapment because we were making a movie and you guys thought it was real.
Hilarious. That's what
you guys arrested me for that.
Such a dumb argument. And Mike's like on the stand. He's like, yeah, I don't know what she's talking about. Like, he's like, and of course the defense is trying to slander Mike's like image, saying he's on probation, all this stuff. Mike seems like such a changed guy. Like, he's not going back to his old ways with investment stuff. But he's like cracking jokes and he's like, he won over the jury for sure. So the jury comes back after 3 hours. Boom, guilty. So
why
the
is there
judge.
More trials?
Let me tell you.
Let me guess.
Okay.
Inadequate representation or something like that.
Yeah, kind of. Let me tell you though. Before I get into that though, it's just interesting because the judge gives her 20 years, calling her a puppet master, and that she's pure evil. And on top of that. Yeah. Wait, what are you confused about?
I don't know. Just keep going.
The judge is just saying she's pure evil for doing this to him.
Yeah.
So this is like kind of a funny thing. I don't know if funny is the right word. The last thing about this trial is that Michael walks outside the courthouse. You know, he's getting interviewed. All the lights are in his face. And they're like, tell me how you feel about this, like, sentencing. And Michael goes, I'm 5,000% happy with it.
Dang.
I was like, woo. Kind of iconic, kind of bold.
He was waiting for that.
I know. You can tell he had that locked and loaded. Well, this is kind of where the whole thing falls apart, like you're mentioning, because in 2014, an appeals court throws that conviction in the trash. Reason being, somewhere in that spring of 2009, I guess you would have never seen this coming, so that's why I let you guess. Dalia evidently handed Michael a glass of iced tea. He took a sip, tasted like gasoline. Right. He spat it out. Is it bad tea? Well, the informant told police she'd like researched odorless antifreeze online, but that was never proven. There was no lab result. There was like no evidence that she truly did try to poison him. And so the judge at the first trial said, okay, no one can hear about this. This can't be in court. The jury can't know. Which is a problem because the jury selection, they're all hanging out in the pool, I guess, all these jurors hanging out. And in front of everybody, someone said that they heard Dalia once try to poison her husband. Rookie juror. You're not allowed to know anything. You're not allowed to say anything.
Wait, they're just chilling by the pool? Like, where? What the freak? Is it like a hotel pool or something?
Probably. Yeah, because they're not supposed to like see outside media and all that stuff, you know?
Yeah, I was just thinking the other day, like being on the jury, like everything to do with law is like sucky. It's like, I feel so guilty, like trying to prosecute someone and I'm not positive they're guilty, trying to defend someone that's bad, being a judge watching it, being the jury trying to decide like this person should go to jail forever or maybe he doesn't deserve to go to jail, but he's actually a murderer. So
yeah, I just feel so grateful that none of that is in my hands. I would not feel good about making these decisions.
Yeah.
So obviously this is an issue. The whole panel has now heard the one thing they were not supposed to hear. And the judge's way of checking whether that ruined anybody or like their opinion or anything,
Asked him.
literally asked them, raise your hands if this gave you strong feelings about the case. That's what they said. Nobody raised their hand. No, obviously. And the appeals court was like, oh, by the way, yeah, a show of hands is not good enough. You should have stopped the case and got a new jury. So they drop it. Conviction's gone. Time to do it again. That is crazy.
That's so annoying.
So annoying. In the meantime, Dalia's hanging out at her mom's house.
Their
She has an
defense is
ankle
like,
monitor.
thank goodness.
I know, seriously.
That was a
They're
bad
like,
defense we gave.
yeah, they're like, we're not doing that one again. Yeah. So she's hanging at her mom's house. She has an ankle monitor on, waiting for her next trial. And that's when it starts in December 2016. So they have new lawyers, way better strategy.
Her mom's like, freak, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not gonna drink anything she gives me.
Right. Yeah, true. So now this new defense is like, okay, instead of the whole reality TV stunt, which was garbage, by the way, they decide the cops did this for the cameras. Because the TV show Cops was in town. They leaned on the informant, they rushed it, they built a fake murder scene. Like they were just like staging this thing and milking it. All because the TV crew was in town and wanted a good episode. That's their case. And this is actually when the jury comes back and they can't agree. Mistrial.
Jeez.
Which is still crazy to me. I'm like, you have her on camera, like literally saying she's so sure that she wants this guy dead. Like, even if you milked it with a TV show, like you're not telling her what to say. I don't know.
Yeah,
just
true.
gnarly to me. And then the judge does something kind of wild. He asks the jurors to write down how they would have voted, like if they didn't go to mistrial, which is so random. And then I guess in Florida, there's only a 6-person panel, not like 12. And 3 voted guilty and 3 voted not guilty. And he just wanted to know who said what. So obviously did it, even hung trial, like stinks. That's why we go into.
Why do they have even numbers?
I've always wondered that. I would feel so much pressure if I was number 7. They're all waiting on me, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
But I guess it's probably better that way, where it's like everyone agrees. I think I don't remember.
I don't think it has to be unanimous. I think it has to be
the
majority.
Weird. It's like too much power in one person.
I actually don't remember all of a sudden. I want to say it's majority, but you should look that up because now I'm questioning myself. So that's when we go on to trial 3, June 2017. And in between, get this, Dalia's been home on home arrest, right?
It's kind of not lucky for her that she's at home arrest and not in jail. But
yeah, and she chooses to do some interesting things in her free time, depending on the source, on exactly what happened. One way or the other, Dalia has a child. She gets impregnated, and most sources say it was the dishwasher guy that just came over to do his chores. One way or the other, Dalia got a baby inside of her, and the defense now pulls she's a mom, let her be a mom, she needs to raise her baby. That is a very weird thing. I like to think that wasn't planned, but it seems a little fishy to me. Like the prosecutors are like, oh, great timing, guys. Like she's on house arrest and has a baby. You're trying to play the sympathy role.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. So they use the same tape, the same text messages. She doesn't testify this time. After 90 minutes, they finally got the final sentence, or this final verdict, which is
guilty.
Guilty, exactly. So she gets sentenced now to 16 years. And the judge says 2 things that sum up this whole case. He says, like, the whole theater should not have been part of law enforcement. Like, do not involve, like, the media and such. And that this investigation was not perfect. However, he says he also thinks those detectives did save Michael Dippolito's life, which I agree.
Yep.
So nuts. So that was like, she appealed over and over. She lost. The Florida Supreme Court wouldn't even like look at her. Her team filed one more petition in federal court in 2023, but that's like the last we've heard of. She hasn't gotten anything approved. Mohammed, the informant, the the guy who came to police station, he has since passed away as of October 2021. He was 40
From
years
what?
old. I don't know. But she was in jail. So he was 40. And then Michael Stanley, the other guy, her other love interest,
Yeah, did he
has
get in
also
trouble?
no, but he has also since passed away.
What the
So
freak? She's just killing everyone, maybe?
that's what it feels like. I haven't looked into how those
Allegedly?
people died. That's not even alleged. I didn't say like any of the reports accused her of these. They do seem like they passed away awfully young. But Michael Dippolito, I mean, he stayed in Boynton Beach for years after all this. He was like still living in that same townhouse. Like, he is brave for that. I'd be like, I got to get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And Dalia is at Lowell Correctional Institution in Marion County, Florida, and she's been there since 2017. And her son is now being raised by family members, of course. So depending on how her gain time gets calculated, she's scheduled to get out sometime early 2030s. So it should be like approaching 50-ish in that realm. So what's interesting is that the evidence in this case is about as airtight as it gets to me. There is a video of her asking for them to kill him, video of her counting out cash, video of her agreeing the whole plan, video of her saying 5,000% sure. And there's a video of her looking a man dead in the face saying she has never seen him before, 2 days after she sat in his car handing him over the money and the house key. And it still took 3 trials and 8 years to get the conviction. But because of it, Michael is safe and Dalia is behind bars, and that is the Dippolito case.
Whoa.
I know.
Yeah,
Weird
it's
one.
crazy that like everything has to be perfect with a case, which is good to know. And I know a lot of cases aren't perfect and they still go through, but yeah.
It's just frustrating sometimes because it's like things like this, like it feels so obvious.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you have to know the rules and the law so well to be a prosecutor and a defense attorney, because when it comes for appeals, like everyone's like nitpicking every little thing they can find.
Yeah.
So
True.
anyways, pretty gnarly story. I've heard that so long ago and I was like, that is so wild. And so we finally got it done. But do you have any keywords for me?
Yes, but no true crime news.
Okay.
Let's do entrapment.
Entrapment. Dun dun dun. Okay. That is our word, and that is our case. So thank you for listening. That was so fun. As bad as that sounds. Fun that everyone lived.
Yeah.
But
we got her.
yeah, we got
her.
Finally, we got the bad guy before the bad guy did anything too bad.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode of Siblings in Crime.
Goodbye, my friends.
Bye, my friends.